Yo, what's up, you crackers? It's your boy Big Pepperjack coming in you hard with another episode of the Sundown Podcast. Sit back, relax, and listen to your favorite autistic man, baby, talk about Chris Chan once again.
Gotcha.
Put that shit through Dynamic
You
Processing.
think somebody who deals with audio every day, I would have known that that's what you meant when you said master. I thought you just meant like you master the whole thing, like you got it down pat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like I'm a master of anything to do with podcasting kind of thing. I was like,
well, this is the only 4th episode we've done.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Anyway, welcome to the Sundown Podcast.
Hey, what's going down? This is Sudo the Nomad. We are here in the melting igloo.
The Iglooplex.
The Iglooplex. The sun's down, so maybe it won't melt as fast as if it was up, but you know, we're here.
Anyway, I'm with the walking Sasquatch himself, Sudo the Nomad.
The walking Sasquatch. I love it.
That's the first thing I saw of you. I was like,
walking Sasquatch?
I said, yeah, of course.
Fuck yeah. I'm with that. You know, I have a strong amount of love for that creature, you know. I definitely think that he's underrated.
Underrated?
He's underrated, man. I think like he got a bad rap in the 2000s, and then, you know, he turned his life around, and I think people don't see him the same anymore, you know?
Yeah, after he got off doing drugs, I think he got his life clean. He got to see his wife and kids again.
Right, yeah.
That's stupid.
One of my favorite philosophy things. It's funny because like we'll be in the middle, like I'm at a show, right, for example, and we'll be in the middle of like a really deep conversation. People will be talking about like why they're doing music and who they're fighting for and all that good shit that you're supposed to, you know, like, you know, you've got a family you're trying to take care of, all that good stuff. And then the deepest thing that I can contribute to the conversation whenever we start talking about important shit like family and all that, I'm just like, yeah, you know, nobody ever saw Bigfoot while they were looking. So, you know, like,
yeah,
the only time people see Bigfoot is when they're not looking. So, you know, and I think that's why you didn't check your phone. So when
it's like
you saw me, it would have been an accidental kind of situation. You're like, oh shit, there's a large bipedal creature crossing the street. He's parked in front of my neighbor's driveway. You know, like, I'm all like, man, that was funny as fuck. I'm like, let me figure out the parking logistics of what I do before I hop out, because I don't want to be a rude guest to Buckeye, you know. Shout out Buckeye.
I mean, I think it's like this in Arizona specifically, like the parking and the neighborhoods are like super narrow on the streets. It's just annoying.
Yeah, they really do that. Like, it's almost intentional, I swear.
Like I lived in New Mexico for like most of my life. So this is like, I've been here in Arizona for like a few years, and I've stayed in Ohio too for some years as well. But I didn't know what an HOA was. Like, I just thought it was like people that just tell you like you can't paint your house that color. I didn't know it was all sorts of things. Like you can't park your vehicle in a certain time spot.
That's some bullshit. You probably know more about HOAs than me at this point. I mean, I live in a little studio apartment. You know, I cry lonely single guy tears in there, all that good shit.
What color tears?
Depends on the lunar cycle. You know, really, if it's a full moon, it's like blood red, and it just looks, you know, real slow.
I cry in my sleep when I go to bed. Like that type deal.
Fucking the stars align, my heart cries. You know what I'm talking about?
Fucking 90s grunge, man.
Oh man, what a time.
Was that like 2000s grunge?
I recently came back around to Soundgarden. I don't know much about that band except for Black Hole Sun, and I'm like, there's so many contexts that I could think of Black Hole Sun applying to.
Is that the one that played in the Batman movie?
It might as well have. I think that was a Nirvana song, right?
There's something in my ass. It goes like that.
Black Hole Sun, and then it's pleading for you to orgasm.
Oh,
it's
now I know. Okay.
Won't you come?
Shut the fuck up.
You feel me? They knew what they were doing with that lyric. The video editing of that music video, though, is what brought me back to that song. I take a lot of life lessons from the TV show Family Guy to this day. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I get half of my philosophy from, half of my cultural understanding. I didn't have a lot of TV growing up, and this was like the crash course in anything in TV that happened from like Dean Martin to now.
So you just went hop into Family Guy. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, just as soon as I was born, I was probably born with Family Guy playing in the background. Like I'm pretty sure in the hospital, like the TV was on, and you know nobody turned the volume down.
Your doctor was a real fan of Family Guy as he was trying to help your mother give birth to you.
Right. It was kind of like the Dr. Hartman situation where like he wasn't very competent.
So he needed to see Family Guy just to calm his nerves. It's like, I've never seen a vagina before.
I got a feeling I was...
Family Guy, help me.
I got a feeling I was dropped on my head pretty early.
Yeah.
I think from what I recall about my past discussions with my mother, I'm pretty sure, aside from all the other drugs and alcohol that may have been consumed while she was pregnant, a specific one that stood out to me, she's like, mushrooms. I did shrooms when I was pregnant with you. And I'm like, that's why I'm fucking fried. Like, it all lines up. It all makes sense now. Like, that's what's going on with me. Like, you know, like halfway getting through an idea before a stream of consciousness says, oh, so we're talking about something else now. And then I'm just lost in the middle of whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. Like that.
I can imagine a scenario where like you're more enlightened because of that.
At times.
Like that fucking like the theory that Joe Rogan came up, the stone ape theory, where like a bunch of apes just did a bunch of shrooms right. and unlocked their height of cognitive.
I could see that.
Energy.
Yeah,
that must have happened with you. You just right now you transcended into
stone
reality.
Fetus. I feel like that's a really hard fucking like. You shouldn't make a fucking hardcore band and name it Stoned Fetus. Like
that's fucking hard.
That's pretty fucking hard, man.
You know what? Science needs to fucking get on their asses right now and just put this to the experiment. Just get 10 pregnant females and just another 10 of the controlled females.
We'll do some acid on one. We'll have like 3 groups, like the control group, right? One
acid,
with acid, mushrooms,
and just the Mormons.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. You know, it's funny. I was actually born in Utah, Mormon capital, if you will.
Were you really born in Utah?
I can't honestly say for sure if I was, because if you're from there, you're either a Mormon or a tweaker.
What the fuck does that even mean? Even I aren't sure.
I mean, I only remember what they told me. You know, I'm applying for my birth certificate as we speak, so we'll find out shortly.
Are you legit still applying for one?
Yeah, no, I'm seriously like...
How old are you?
I'm 26, and so most of my life, I think I've only had a copy of a birth certificate. So like now that I'm at this age, I'm like, it's going to be really fucking useful to have like an OG, like, I don't know, like, okay, I had a copy. I don't have a copy now is my point. So I'm sure I'm not getting the original. I'm going to get another copy, but...
Right.
I'm pretty sure you fucking need that to get by. I mean...
Well, I think you would... Yeah, maybe to get like a social security number, maybe to get a bank account.
I mean, not to incriminate myself, but, you know...
You don't have a bank account?
My first name is Jesus, and my last name is... We don't got to talk about it. But basically, my mom was Abuelita, and she misspelled my last name because it was my dad's last name, and he's from Mexico. And so, on my birth certificate... My last name should be spelled Gutierrez, 1 T, 2 R's. My mom put it on the birth certificate with 2 T's and 1 R. And so basically I've been committing identity theft on myself my entire life.
That's not like... I don't think that's like identity theft. I feel like that's just like clergy error.
I mean, but doesn't identity theft sound cooler?
It does.
I really think that I would rather just
I don't know
tell
how cool
people.
I don't know how cool identity theft is. It's not like a cool crime to commit.
Oh, it really isn't. Like I just got a gift card the other day, and I'm pretty sure that the gift card that I got a gift card for cat sitting, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty fucking sure this gift card, like, it was scammed out of its own $50 value before I ever touched it, because I went to use it, declined. Tried it again, declined. Later that night, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just pay for my gas like I normally would. Get home. I'm like, let me just try the number on the back. It says the balance is 0. And I'm like, I just got this fucking card out the packaging, you know? And then I'm like looking on the website, and it's like, I guess it's through like a Target Visa. So I'm like, I'm on the fucking Target website looking up this fucking card with all the information on the card. And then it's like, yeah, $0. There's a purchase in March. I'm like, what the fuck? It's fucking June. Like, so someone must have, I don't know, scammers.
Someone gooked your identity.
Pretty right. My fucking my gift card that was supposed to pay for my gas. I'm like, damn. I guess I gotta walk.
And your car's still at the fucking gas station to this day.
To this day, I actually think that it's been overran by the local homeless, the local, you know, all of the local population.
Well, you can put that under your tax exemption as donations.
I'm wondering how many dependents I can claim if they're, they're all in my property.
I don't think that counts.
No, man.
I don't think that counts, bro.
Yo, I got to admit, man. Before coming here today, I was pretty fucking sad. Pretty fucking sad day. I like to make humor out of sad shit, so I mean, there's got to be some type of comedy situation in the middle of my woes, if you will.
Well, tell us what happened.
Oh man,
this isn't a comedy. This is a comedy podcast.
Oh yeah,
but it's just it's you and I just shooting the shit.
We can shoot shit until the shit's shot, and then if it's all gone, then there's more.
Look, I'll decide whether or not this stays in the podcast or not. If it's something fucked up, it might not come on.
Oh no, trust me. I'm hoping that there's humor to gather from this. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the saddest fucking dude in the world, and I know that that's such a crock of shit. Like,
well, fucking spill the tea.
First world problems, man. Okay, yeah. I'm trying not to get too sad because I'm trying to keep my hopes up about it. But I mean, I just got into a fight with my girlfriend. I think that after 3 years, she might be done with my shit, My mom's in the hospital, but my mom formerly was a recovering addict living on the street, so I have no idea where she was. So I really hope she's in the hospital, because that's probably the best place for her.
You hope so.
That's the fucked up part. I don't know. I don't have enough information because it's all through the grapevine,
Okay, but who is on the grapevine? Like, who gave you this information to say that, hey, your mom's probably or probably not in the hospital?
I'll say it's a credible source, but this credible source also said that they weren't supposed to disclose that information because it came from a hospital employee.
Okay.
So I mean, it's like I'm getting very little. I'm getting drip-fed information. It's like, tell me what fucking hospital she's in, at least, But anyhow, aside from all that, my medication has not been doing its job lately. So I mean, hey, maybe you shouldn't mix Prozac with whiskey. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a good combination. And getting into a conversation that's make or break in a relationship when you're being faced with the bullshit that I'm being faced with. It's like, you don't brush your teeth. I'm like, that's a real good reason to break up with me. Cool.
Well, if she's just making up, I mean, if now she's just coming out with shit, that just means she's just like, she's venting on something with you. No,
she has a pretty good. I don't think the fight was really about me not brushing my teeth. My personal hygiene is pretty fucking terrible, ladies. But I'm just saying that it's not about me brushing my teeth. It's that I lie about brushing my teeth, and that's probably fucking worse, right? That's probably way fucking worse.
Maybe.
It's like I crawl into bed. She's like, and I'm like, what? You didn't brush your teeth? I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, And then I'm like,
you can smell it.
I just wanted to steal a smooch. That's all. And I think the lie was like, it's not even that big of a lie, but it's like, it's the principle, It's like, look, I haven't been honest with you. I haven't been brushing my teeth. I chase my fluoxetine with Jack and Coke. There's a lot going on right now for me, okay? And on top of that, I don't want to go to fucking work at all, but I do, and it sucks. And this is the system that we're in. So, first world problems. I'm the saddest man in the world, I guess.
Bet.
That's the irony of the whole thing that kind of, I think, makes this downward spiral even better.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, by the way, you don't even really have it that fucking bad, bro. And it's like, you're fucking right. Hey, my buddy Colton, I'm like, hey Colton, can you take my gun away from me, bro?
Oh fuck.
I don't need this shit for a while because I'm pretty sure the demons are winning. Like, oh man. As I'm handing a buddy of mine, true story, sincere moment here. This is also a fucking confessional, I guess. Mm-hmm. I really was in a situation where I was like, God damn, like, I'm trying to be responsible. I'm trying to be better and fight whatever I'm fighting, right? So I'm like, I own a gun for a lot of different reasons that I think anybody would own a gun for. I live in downtown Phoenix. There's a lot of fucking careful. Yeah, and also I don't mind shooting literal shit sometimes. Go out into the desert, find a leftover fucking scat from Sasquatch and blah, 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 nothing wrong with that.
Blow it up.
Yeah, like my brain. Good stuff. No, yeah. So I really did have a moment where I had to reach out to a buddy of mine. I'm like, I didn't really explain much. I just said, hey, it's an emergency. Can you come grab something from me? And didn't really
see. That's like a high self-awareness right there. Because that's good. Because most people don't have that.
I mean, yeah, and it sucks because you're just like, you're in a situation where you really, yeah. I'll take that compliment there, because I mean, fuck, I could have very well just not hit anybody up.
Because there's plenty of times when there's a lot of people in the Air Force that just didn't do that and just killed themselves.
And yeah, I think the best thing that I could do, because there's not much comfort to offer people when you're in the middle of like your worst kind of mental state. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, I'm sure you as another person, you probably felt some shit like that. Maybe it's never been that severe, maybe it has, but I think my point is that like, they're like, is there anything you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to, like, and I'm really I'm all like on the phone, like, I really don't want to talk about shit right now, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm way past the point of talking about shit. I'm ready to do something. So while we're on that note, don't feel bad, you know, because I did have another friend that I hit up and they were like, I'm sorry, dude, I can't make it out. It's just like a logistics or something, you know, or like, I can't hold that for you because I have, you know, kids or some shit. And it's like, that's understandable, you know.
Makes sense.
I wouldn't put you in that situation. I'm like, bro, do not feel bad. The fact that you're hearing from me right now is like enough for you to just feel a little more at ease. Like, because everybody's immediately concerned when you start talking about shit like that, right? Very valid reason. But I'm like, no, it's all good. Trust me. This is me being responsible right now.
Good. Yeah.
It's like, if you didn't hear from me, then there'd be a bigger problem, you know, but like, I'm reaching out and I'm doing what I can, you know? And yeah, I haven't really talked about this much. I mean, I don't know the difference between public and private anymore with the world we're living in, you know? I feel like the second I have a thought, it's the fucking world's thought.
It's already out there. Well, that's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
I kind of just started accepting that, though, too. Like, the second I share an idea or a thought, anything that leaves my fucking mouth, I'm just like, it's going to make its way around and back to me. So...
That's like an eventuality, you know?
Yeah, like, even with, like... gossip, because that's a big one. You know, gossip, I feel like I have a new take on gossip every other day, because I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's not really gossip as so much as it is people are just wanting to make sure that people around them are actually on a level kind of. It's like, hey, we gossip because this and that. I actually talked about this with my girlfriend, and then I just started thinking about it in a grander scale. What we call gossip when it's harmless is whatever, you know, but when you think about it on a bigger scale, it's like, hey, this dude's a fucking serial killer and you should probably know, and here's the signs, and it's up to you to decide if you agree with me that he's a serial killer. I'm like, oh geez, thanks for letting me fucking know that. Sweet.
And then you look at that person in a different light, even though it might not be true at all.
Right. And it's an unfortunate, I don't think that it's victimless. Like, I think that obviously people take advantage of that information. And,
some people do, but
misconstrue it, you know.
Some people do, but there's reasons for, you know, that suspicion, you know, like based on personal experience. And also, like,
right.
Now we live in a world where you honestly don't know who you're talking to.
Right. Like, pretty much I hit you up on a whim because I saw that you worked with a couple people that I know in the digital space. And I was like, yo, he seems really fucking cool. I like his energy. I like what he's doing. This young Igloo show. I seriously still was like, all right. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was like, all right, man, he might be a serial killer, but like, I'm ready, man. Like,
on the surface, I can understand why people see that on the surface as well, because I do a lot of weird shit. And I make people feel uncomfortable.
But I love that weird shit.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking. I love videos like that, and that's why I do it, because I want more videos like that to be on the internet.
They're the best, man, and that's the thing was like, part of me was also so like that was the the divide. It's like, he's either a serial killer, he's going to serial kill me, or he's gonna like Eric Andre me, where I think I'm going into a podcast and I'm gonna walk in and it's like, dicks out, like, yo, we're shooting the show now, are you ready? it's like what the fuck kind of show are we about to shoot?
In reality, I'm just a guy that likes to have coffee and drink water, hydrate myself, read books.
Right. That's the best part of life, man, is hydration. Hydrate or die, you know? Like, especially in the desert.
I fucking love hydrating, especially
Dude, that hydro flask is... I need me one like that, for sure.
Shit.
Take your moment, man. You need the water.
If you need some water, I got some right there.
Dude, I appreciate that. I actually will take a water.
All right, good.
This is a sponsored water break.
Yeah.
Because you can't have an Igloo without water. Oh, that good old hydration.
You know what's funny? Most people, whenever they read my name, it's like, I didn't even pick Igloo as just like, you know, based on like the symbolism of an igloo. I picked it because it just sounded cool.
It wasn't like a deeper meaning?
No, I think if you're going to look into deeper meaning, it basically is just like how every other, there's just a bunch of artists with youngs at the beginning of it. I thought
there's a commentary there.
Yeah, it's more of a social commentary on the music industry.
Right. So
but so many people who have like little at the beginning of their names.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, I definitely think that's an interesting point. Igloos are cool. No pun intended. God,
they're actually kind of cool because
they actually are.
They're like
they might even be cooler than cool. You know
yeah. I mean? No, the way they do you know how an igloo works?
I believe it's just like a giant freezer, right, on the inside.
It's supposed to be.
Oh no, shit! No, it keeps you warm.
It's supposed to keep you warm.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's right.
Because like because snow is a great insulator, but you have to find different types of snow. There's multiple types of snow, which is why when you go up to like to super far north, Antarctica, whatever it is, and the Eskimos, the Inuit people, they have like all sorts of different names for snow because they're all different types of snow. So there's only one type of snow that's made for an igloo. So it's good enough to pack and make bricks out of, so you can stack them in an igloo.
You're fucking blowing my mind right now. And, I just thought it was like frozen water, but there's levels to this shit, man.
Yeah.
Igloos are deep, bro. We actually did make a deeper meaning out of igloos right now, and that's pretty fucking sweet. Oh, man.
So if you're ever like in the frozen tundra, figure out how to make one and you'll survive. Because they also build like fires inside them as well, and that melts the igloo a little bit on the inside, but that even keeps it more insulated, so you can stay warm pretty well inside an igloo.
Damn. Okay. That's pretty fucking sweet.
But I picked the name just because it sounds cool.
Same here. No.
You can put your own meaning to it if you want to, but that's just what it is.
Igloo. I love it.
It sounded dope.
This was something that I picked as well.
Sudo
the Nomad. So okay. Very fun. I love when I first started making music. It was like I started making poetry in like middle school, right? Mm-hmm. And by the time I like started putting it into a rap format, it was I think it's always the first name that sucks really fucking hard. Like, and it's funny because it was also a name that was taken, so I'm probably dissing whoever has that name to this day. But I mean, like, I don't know. I had this like little concept in my head. I was like, I'm gonna make my shit all about the 3 P's, man. And the 3 P's, man, that's what my fucking format's all about, you know?
Just P, P, and P?
Well, it's actually 4 P's now if you consider pussy. But I mean, okay. I didn't get that at the time. It just took some time before I started, incorporating that fourth element. Very important element. You don't want to miss out on it in any potentiality. But it was palindromes, paradigms, and paradoxes. I was trying to be like Shakespeare out the fucking gate or something. Who knows? So palindromes are words that are spelt the same forwards and backwards. So my first rap name was Flow Wolf.
That's fucking stupid.
You feel me?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's like, pretty fucking stupid. And I mean, like,
I'm glad you changed it.
I'm glad I changed it too, because I mean, like, yeah, Flow Wolf. Like, what the fuck? He likes wolves and he flows. Like,
he's like a furry.
God damn, yeah. And it was, I think, 2013. That was about the age of the furry. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's when
I would have found the wrong audience.
That's when people were making more fun of furries, I think, too. People still are furries, unfortunately.
I think my second name was just as shitty though, because it was like an evolution. I'm very happy that I landed on Sudo the Nomad. I'm a little disappointed that I found out that there's another rapper who has the Nomad on their name, but at the same time I'm not as mad because I'm like, fuck it, it's true to me. And
which one?
Abi the Nomad. He did a song with Futuristic, but
Do I know something?
What's that?
I have a cousin who has the Nomad at the end.
It's a pretty common one. You know what? Shout out my homie 4D, Fourth Dimensional Hitchhiker out of California. This dude, his rap name used to be Yvonne the Nomad because that's his name, Yvonne, and so Yvonne the Nomad. So who knows? I think it's a common one because it's very like, I'm trying to think the right word for it. It's void of any political or ideological like context. It's like you're just a fucking nomad. Like, I mean, for example, not to get super political, but like If you know Chicago rapper No Name, love the shit out of her. She's dope. She used to go by No Name Gypsy, and I think she changed it, obviously, for, reasons she didn't want to be offensive with that, because it's kind of like a slur, I suppose. But anyhow, the point is, Gypsy, there's implications to that outside of it being a slur, and I think that was probably why she originally used that word to identify with.
I don't know if gypsy's a slur.
I think the context is like you're identifying as like a people, and you're not a gypsy. So
oh yeah, I guess
maybe
you're right.
maybe that's kind of how that worked.
Yeah.
That's like if I don't even want to think of another terrible example that's out there. There's plenty.
Say it. You're brown. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you could, and I mean,
I'm not allowed to say it 'cause
I'm
I'm very
Asian
white.
also. I have like Pacific Island. I'm Filipino, so I'm Mexican, Filipino, Creole, and white. Of course, I still got that German freckle in me.
Yeah.
But
see, I was wondering what you were when you walked into my house.
As most white people do. It's totally normal. It's fine.
No, because it's more jarring to me when I see a black guy with freckles or Mexican with freckles.
Right. It's probably the German in me, but I mean, I also have learned to, like freckles are like all races. I used to think that freckles were exclusively white, and I'm like,
no, I thought it was only for like gingers at the time, and then I met some people who were my friends when I was living in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They were they were all black, well mixed. They're black and white, but they had like freckles on their faces.
I met a ginger Mexican the other day.
Okay.
Like born in Mexico from a Mexican family,
but
this is a friend of mine's brother, so I mean like I'm friends with them, but the idea was that like they're all like they're what you would imagine a Mexican person to look like, right? Appearance wise. He red hair, red beard, freckles, like just full on ginger, and I'm like, you're Mexican, but like your hair is just not telling me that. Like there are gingers in probably I think every race, which is pretty wild. Like gingers
that's what I love about
they're like
humans.
a sub race,
That's what I love about humans. They come in all shapes and sizes, and it's fucking perfect.
Let me go ahead and go back and say that. Like, by sub race, I don't mean that they're less than other people.
Oh fuck!
I mean, I think of it like I
can't believe you said that.
Yeah, I was like, let me go ahead and
Canceled
immediately.
Canceled.
I was like, I need to say this before someone takes it out of context, but nevertheless, shout out my Mexican gingers, myself included. I think I could pass for ginger in the right light. I mean, most of my hair is dark, but in the light, you'll probably discover a lot of strawberry blondes and just really orange reds. And I'm like,
see, it's the beard that throws me off the most with you, because you have like this reddish beard and you have black hair.
Right.
So when you put the hat on, I'm only seeing ginger. When I see you take the hat off, I see a Mexican.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot, because it makes me feel a little bit better about my disillusionment, because growing up, I think that I was very much on the fence about who I was supposed to hang out with. And it's not that you think as a kid, do I hang out with the white kids or the brown kids? It's like they hear things from their parents and they bring that shit to school. And so it was like, I just didn't fit in. People wanted to bully me for either which way. And everyone experiences bullying. I don't think that was like a big part of my story growing up, because I just usually got into fights, and I probably got jumped a few times because of that. But and it's like, like a multiracial jumping, like that's the fucking worst. It's like the white kids are jumping me, the brown kids are jumping me.
That's when everything's truly equal.
It's like me and all the other mutts are just gonna kick it over there,
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it is. It's being a fucking mutt. It's like I'm a white person until I become inconvenient, and then it's like, yeah, you're just some brown person. And it's like I try to be someone who connects more to my culture, but truthfully, I wasn't raised with a lot of the culture that I should have. And my dad being from Mexico, I'm learning a lot about that even to this day. My Spanish is pretty fucking rough. But anyhow, my point is like I go around people that I would consider part of who I am, and it's like, yeah, you're pretty fucking white, dude. You're not like us.
I can relate a little bit to that, because I'm a quarter Mexican. My mom's half white and Mexican, so but most of the family I've hanged out with was all Mexicans. I was one of the only white people in that family.
So you know about a good plate then, I'm saying, you know about your beans and rice.
I'm more comfortable hanging around brown people than I am around white people. But unfortunately, when you're outside that environment, the family environment, you try to hang out with other Mexicans, you're not really included in a lot of things. So
I can
I'm often sort of just, I am pushed aside a little bit too. I can't say it's
right.
I can't say I don't walk around without. I have a lot of privilege. Let me just say.
I feel that.
And it's nice as fuck.
Let me tell you, man. There's definitely white privilege moments for sure for me too. You know, I definitely I get a taste of that every now and then.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I might just like be on some, I don't know, just on some dumb shit. Like I tag, I do graffiti. I've been in situations where I might not be doing something that's, you know, considered legal and out in public, and I don't know, there's like a switch sometimes where I'm like, I'm chilling, I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm doing with my homies, and then it's like, okay, I'm the whitest dude here. I need to be the one to speak for everybody right now.
Oh, fuck.
Just because I'm going to be able to say something that's going to kind of get us over. I'm thinking back to high school now, you know.
Were there moments when that would happen to you?
In what way? Like, kind of how I was describing it? Or like...
Were you like in a car with like a bunch of people and you were like the only person that could pass off as a white guy to talk to the cops?
Yes, there was definitely a couple of moments like that, and I think less so on the side of like my whiteness, but also on my sobriety. Like,
okay, that makes more sense.
Like I'm more the person who's less high at any given moment. I don't smoke that much, and I'm trying to think of a specific example, but it escapes me. You know, I've definitely been around cops a little bit more than I'd like to say, but nevertheless,
you're a seasoned veteran, is what you are. When it comes to dealing with cops.
I remember one time when I was 14. This is a really silly, trivial, like it's like I'm not trying to purport that I'm like a fucking just, you know, occupational thug or anything like that. You know, I don't make a career off of doing dumb shit. But anyhow, when I was 14, I threw a rock at a transformer and it said roll out afterwards, and I was just like, what the fuck? No, I'm kidding. But I threw a rock at a transformer because I got into a fight with a girl, left her house mad, pissed.
For everyone at home who's listening to podcasts and doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, like a power station transformer, not like the fucking automobiles.
Rise of the Beasts or whatever the fuck is out.
Yeah, no, we're talking like those power substations that they're in your neighborhood that are metal and look dangerous. So don't throw rocks at those.
Those big motherfuckers that, yeah. And I threw a rock. It was like it was like a palm-sized rock, so it was a pretty big rock.
Wow, okay.
And I don't know, I was just an angry 14-year-old in the 120-degree sun, and I'm pretty sure they pulled me over because I was brown, and I wasn't even in a car. You know, they just pulled, like, I'm walking, so like, how do you pull somebody over who's walking? I always think that's a really funny fucking thing, you know? And I'm like, it's getting hotter, I'm getting browner. They're just looking at me like, oh, here's this brown kid up to no good. I'm joking at this point. I think that they pulled me over because I threw a fucking rock at a transformer. Like,
yeah, they saw that and like,
and
all right, let's
yeah,
get this
like
fucker.
This isn't the only time I've ever been in the back of a cop car, but they, after taking all my information down, which kind of feels a little fucked up, because I mean, like, after they assess the situation, they're like, yeah, we're still gonna require all your information, your name, where you live, all that stuff.
Then look at your ideas, like, you have an extra T in here. What the fuck's going on?
Right. Yeah, and then they're like, yo, are you actually a serial rapist from Texas? Because it says here in our database that, yeah, that's what you are. And I'm like, no, that's not me. It's like, have you ever lived in Texas? You got family in Texas? And I'm like, bro, what's the fuck? Like, I just told you I threw a rock because I'm mad at my girlfriend. I'm 14. What do you want from me? Like, but anyhow, I wrote
14s can be serial rapists too. Let's not just.
I rode in the back of a cop car they dropped me off at the bus station. I guess they're trying to be nice. They dropped me off at the bus stop up the road by Cesar Chavez, and I thought it was pretty wild to like have the police pull up in front of the Valley Metro bus, let me out the back seat of the cop car, and then I get on the bus, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm ready to take the 60 all the way home, like, or whatever the fuck. I'm just like, yo, like, anybody on the bus who was sitting down was like, I'm just gonna move his seat this way. Like, I don't know. At least in my head, that's what was going through my mind. Anyhow,
what a crazy world we live in. Have you always lived in Arizona?
I moved here when I was like 6 or 7. So I've been
so in Utah.
Yeah, Mormon country.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Do you remember anything from being in Utah?
Yeah, I do remember some of the city. I remember, again, I think that the majority of the population downtown was either like a Mormon or like a tweaker, and you know.
And this was Salt Lake City, right?
Salt Lake City, yeah.
Okay.
It's a kind of a big metro area. I mean, similar to like how here we've got Tempe and Glendale and all that. There's similar little areas up there.
Yeah, there's like other towns within the area of Salt Lake. I get that.
Yeah. It was cool. I think the environment was different. There's 4 seasons. That was pretty cool. I like that. You know, you actually could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get like the whole spectrum instead of just hot and then less hot here in this fucking weather.
Man, yeah. Honestly. Yeah, no, Utah was pretty cool. I remember a lot of crazy shit there. There's so many, like, I don't know, we could go any direction, truthfully. I mean, like, I have spent half of my childhood, right? So we're talking about like 18 years, right? Half of my childhood, I would say, was spent homeless. And out of that half, so that 9 years or some odd amount, I would say half of that was like genuine homelessness. Like, okay, so maybe we didn't have our own place, but we were staying with somebody, right? Something like that.
Okay.
Out of that, I'd say about 4 years of that 9, give or take, was like, we are not staying at anywhere. We're sleeping in a car, we're on the street, or we're in a fucking homeless shelter.
Okay, I was about to say, because when you say homeless,
people mean one or two things when they say homeless. Yeah,
like just staying in a place or being on the street.
Yeah, like I've heard people say like I was homeless, and it's like, but did you have a couch to sleep on? It's like, yeah, okay, so like, yeah, technically you don't have a home, so you're homeless, but it's different than sleeping outside.
It's a different tier of homelessness. It's like,
right.
You're right there on being low class poor to complete homeless. That's where you're at, because that's where my dad was at for. It still is at that place right now. Right. Because he was living in a trailer, and I'm not talking like a trailer. I'm talking like a U-Haul trailer that was converted. Yeah. And it was out somewhere in the Texas suburban area. It's like that's out past like a highway or whatever. Most people wouldn't see it unless you're like looking for it. Damn. So that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, he probably was in that situation too.
Yeah, I mean, I remember sleeping in the van, in the back of the van.
And for how long was this going on in your life?
I'd say, yeah, so I mean, it was very on and off all throughout childhood. So that's why I have no real timeline. That's why I say, like, I think about half of that time as a child from like 18 was, you know, sleeping with other people's families and stuff like that. You know, just big old orgies, you know, just sleeping with everybody at the same time. They were swingers, they were into kids and all that good shit, you know. Dope. I whore myself out. I get to where I sleep where I can, you know, and that's just how you do it. No, on a serious
Rad. Yeah, me too, bro.
On a serious tip though, I think emotionally I whored myself out, you know, because you have to adapt to situations, and so a lot of trauma comes from that. So I think I became like the people pleaser. I was the oldest of my 2 brothers. Later I had a sister. So
not only were you homeless, you're also homeless with your siblings as well.
Yeah, it was a good time. You know, there was drugs, there was other homeless kids to fight and you know, do whatever we did with. Man, the most romantic stories come of homeless children. You know, they're looking for love, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
My younger brother, oh my gosh, I feel bad for putting him on the spot, but I'm pretty sure his first kiss was in a shelter, like on one of the cots. And I'm like, bro, like as I get older, that shit is just like, fuck, man. Like,
now that's like a love story.
Right.
Out of like some like novel right there.
Yeah.
Childhood friend.
What was your question though? I don't even remember if I answered it.
I was asking like, when did you stop being homeless? Like, at what age can you give me when you just like, okay, we're getting someplace that is stable?
It was pretty intermittent, so that's kind of the difficult thing. So I became my own person probably around 17.
Okay.
So a little early. There's nothing wrong. Most 17-year-olds are pretty capable.
Did you go to school?
I did.
Okay.
I went to 13, so I went to 13 different schools.
Wow.
Yeah. By the time I landed on Tempe High, which is the high school I went to, that was like the last school I went to. Like, and it was like my 13th school, sophomore year. I made a conscious choice to stay in one school at that point because I'm like, I don't care where I live. I have to at least stay in one kind of social environment because I'm already pretty fucked. I'm like, let me at least have a few familiar faces. At least let me feel like I actually do have a community or something, you know, some other people I can connect to. It's benefited me to actually see that and then realized that for what it was worth, you know, like I'm glad I did that. It was also just the commitment, because like I think at one point in time I was taking 5-hour round trip, you know, bus rides to school, 2.5 in the morning, 2.5 after, from like 19th Ave and Cactus all the way to like Broadway and Mill. Like fuck, man, like I was up every morning at like 4. Crazy. But anyhow, to answer your question, it was very intermittent. When I finally was on my own at 17, it was because my mom and my siblings, at this point it's my 2 brothers and my younger sister, they leave for Utah to go back with family, and then I leave to go be on my grandpa's ranch in California. And I originally thought that there was a rhyme or reason for it. I couldn't stress to you enough how as a 17-year-old I wasn't fully aware of my own situation. I don't think most of us are. You know, my mom was pretty protective of what we were going through, so I didn't quite know the situation at all times.
But you guys were living on the streets during this time.
At this point in time, we've been in an apartment. And this apartment we lived in for probably, I want to say at least 5 to 6 months. We moved in the winter because the first night it wasn't ready, so we slept in the car.
Okay.
It was like a really like kind of low you know, there wasn't really much to maintain. It was like an apartment that was, our landlord lived next door, I'll put it that way, you know.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Kind of cheeky, you know, but I mean, anyhow, we probably lived there about 5 months, and I don't know how long my mom went without paying rent, because the real reason that we moved out was because we were getting evicted. But I didn't know that at the time. It was just like, okay, we're going to go visit family. It's the summer. We're going to go visit family. And I'm going with my grandpa to do the same. And so my understanding is after the summer's over, I come back here.
But then that didn't happen.
They never came back. I came back, and I'm like, where the fuck do I go? You know, I don't know why at that point in the game my mind wasn't really like firing on all cylinders. Like, oh, we didn't go visit anywhere. We lost where we were living.
Yeah.
Like we were going to the next thing because we had nowhere else to stay here. And I was like, fuck. So that's where I just started bouncing around with my cousins and whatnot. And yeah, I think at that point things were stable enough for me, you know, living situation wise. But outside of that, it was an ongoing road.
It's really only been recently when you started, like, you know, staying in one place and figuring your shit out.
Dude, that's a good way of putting it. I mean, yeah, I lived from 17 to like 19, I lived in the same place. From 20 to now, as an adult, you know, I definitely just been trying to take charge of my own life. But only these past 3 years, I've been really stabilizing, which is nice because now I can actually look at shit for what it is on occasion. And, you know.
See, because most people who go through that, you know, they don't have the resiliency, you know, to bounce back from something like that.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It's a lot of adversity. There have been so many moments where I could have just fucking gave up and let it all be what it was.
Yeah, because for other people, it's devastating to them, and they don't get out of that. But you did. You did a pretty good job. So that's something you should be proud of. Definitely.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. For real. Yeah, it ain't easy, man, and I sympathize with anybody else who's ever gone through that, you know. You know, there are people in the foster care system that go through very similar stuff, you know?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, how did you not get picked up by foster care?
My mom was really smart. I'll put it that way.
So she was just dodging that.
She was dodging a lot, yeah. I couldn't tell you how many things my mom knew how to con.
Because now I'm thinking, like, how did because you have other family members.
Yeah.
And I was going to go back on that. Like, how did they not know that you and your siblings were living in this situation?
Oh, they did. I think that what it was is that my mom... since going to therapy, I have a lot of different ways of looking at shit, but if I'm looking at it through the angry 17-year-old that I was, with that in mind, my mom burned a lot of bridges. I'll put it that way.
I see.
She definitely took advantage of a lot of different family members, like just willingness to help. But as I'm older, I'd also be willing to say that she's doing the best she can with 3 kids and her mental state, you know? She recently surpassed the age of her mom because her mom passed away at the age my mom is now, which is, I think, 42. So my mom is now older than her mom ever was. So that's kind of a beautiful thing that I'm hanging, you know, my hope on, and that she can keep pushing through and making best of life. But yeah, no, I think that there was always a place for me to stay, especially. I was the good kid, you know. My brothers were a little younger, and they, you know, being the oldest, I'd try to keep them in line. Sometimes even to their detriment, to my detriment. Wasn't the best oldest brother, but, you know, we get through shit, we find a way, and I just know that no matter where I was, I always had somewhere to stay, which was a good feeling. It's as an adult, though, that my pride is really starting to shift, because I know that we've lived in a lot of different places, you know, and my mom was the same way. She was very prideful, so even though she may have burned some bridges, there was somewhere else to go. We sometimes just, out of her pride, we wouldn't go stay with our family members, because it's like, we've already been in this situation. This will be the third time moving in with grandpa, kind of thing. So it's like, my mom has some pride about shit like that, you know? So
Right.
obviously it's like, we just have to rough it sometimes. As an adult, that's definitely what I did. You know, I had a couple of family members that definitely offered me a place to stay. They're like, if you ever need somewhere to be, you know, and this is when I was younger, even, so like 19, 20, probably needed help more then than I do now. But same thing, pride just kind of kept me pushing. I was homeless as an adult for a little bit of time, probably no more than 6 months, and that's different. See, that's all on me. When you're a kid, you don't really have control over shit.
You don't have control over that.
You really don't. Yeah, so you're just kind of going wherever the fucking water takes you. And as an adult,
was that just like a stint of you like getting evicted from like an apartment, or was that just like?
It was getting evicted. It was falling flat on my face with responsibilities in life, abusing a little bit of alcohol. Okay. I think that it was definitely just like life stressors were all hitting me at once. I was working 2 jobs trying to hold an apartment down, and I technically got fired from one of those jobs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was working at IHOP and Ross at the time. Good times, yeah. Going into IHOP smelling like, you know, fucking plastic and hangers. Leaving IHOP to go to work at Ross in 3 hours and then get 2.5 hours of sleep, and now I smell like fucking pancakes and all that good stuff. Yeah, I slept in shifts back then. I slept 3 hours at night and 3 hours during the day.
That's awful.
It was pretty shit, yeah. But yeah, I got evicted. It was just like a really, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, this is why I attribute all fault to myself, but me and my mom got into it. It was like a really bad fight, and I don't even know what the fight was about. All I know is that it set me off to where, like, all right, if I don't get my ride in the next 10 minutes because someone's going to pick me up and take me to work that day, because I normally take the bus. I work graveyards. It's 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. If my ride doesn't pick me up the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to say, fuck it. I'm going to walk into this liquor store, buy me some fucking Mickey's, get me a bottle of Mad Dog, and I'm just going to get trashed and sleep in an alley. And that's what I did.
Wow.
Well, I didn't sleep in the alley. Let me take that back. I tagged up the alley. I sat down in the alley like a real fucking bum. I drank 80 ounces of malt liquor, and then I chased it with some Mad Dog.
Dope.
I probably did like 5 pieces that night, like just tagging, like, you know, alleyways, brick walls and shit. And then I woke up on South Mountain, so it was a good time. I woke up on South Mountain with a pack of cigarettes on me and my iPod still running music, so it was a good time. And then I didn't have a job, so then it wasn't a good time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think I always stayed busy when I was homeless. I did day labor, try to keep things going. Day labor is cool as long as you don't get mixed up with people, because everybody who's working day labor, and mind you, here it's day labor is like same day pay. The only people who usually need same day pay are people that are going to spend it on drugs or alcohol. Yeah. So I will say that it seemed like a majority of the people that were there were fucked up on something, you know. And me, I'm just, yeah, I had my fallout with alcohol, but I'm not really on anything at the time. I don't even smoke weed. I'm just like raw dogging life sometimes. And it sucks, but you know, like sometimes I just keep it going, and you know, I kept to myself, didn't really associate with anybody. And outside of that, you know, it wasn't long before I was back on my feet, but it was definitely a couple months of roughing it. And as an adult, you're like, there's no excuse. You're just like, fuck, I gotta sleep somewhere tonight, but I don't want to sleep at night, because it's like, that's why I was even more about not associating with people, because when you're on the street, it's you can get involved in all kinds of dumb shit. I remember I slept under a bridge one night, underneath a park bench. the grass was wet. That kind of fucking sucked. I tried to sleep during the day if I could, because sleeping at night is like you're on guard, you know. I slept behind a Jack in the Box for Wi-Fi once. That was pretty fucking lit. I was like, I've got music videos to watch. You know, I have YouTube and entertainment, you know. And I'm like, this is cool. But it was a Saturday night, so it was a really bad night to sleep behind a Jack in the Box. Because all I heard all night was, I get a jumbo jack and 2 tacos and a fucking stop paying my alimony and shit. Like, you get so many fucking drunk people at Jack in the Box on a Saturday night. Shout out those drunk people at Jack in the Box on a Saturday night.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, those are the people I like.
Those are the real champs right there.
They are, you know. They work so hard, and then you end up on the weekend and you just, something about those 2 tacos with the slice of American cheese that you'd put on a burger, like it just hits.
Something that hits.
Yeah, just hits the fucking spot. I don't know what it is. By the way, this is a sponsored water break.
Oh, fuck.
I take it you can edit around the shit you don't need.
Yeah. The podcast is heavily edited. You know, sometimes I add like goofy sound effects.
All the more reason why you'd probably want as much time as we could talk, like 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, I edit the podcast mostly for entertainment value. Like, because what I like about the podcast format that most people don't utilize is you can play around with sound effects.
I love that.
You ever it's like one of those old timey like radio shows,
right?
Where like they add sound effects and like you're never gonna catch me. They add like a gunshot, like a gunshot effect in there.
That kind of thing. Yeah,
that's like the same thing I do. Like last episode,
a lot of radio does that too, and I'm like, I miss that about radio. I don't miss radio for ads and shit, but I mean radio,
the goofiness to it,
the hosts and shit.
The last 2 episodes I did, there was a skit we did where like one of us was powering up like a Super Saiyan, so I added in the sound effects and
that's fucking tight.
And like that one song that plays when Goku is going like Super Saiyan 3.
That's pretty cool.
Because I think we were doing a bit about like ascending to a higher level of gayness.
That's pretty beautiful. There's a certain tier of gayness that you're just like, you're at peak beautiful. And this
is what a super gay is. Something stupid like that. But then there's music attached to it. So I have to pull up a clip from that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so when did you get started in music?
Probably towards the end of high school. I've been around music for quite some time. I think I played bass in high school, maybe played viola in middle school, but like nothing that really stuck with me until like junior year, where I started actually turning poetry into rap, and I was like, okay, like I can really see myself doing this.
I went on your Spotify and I was looking at the times of when they were uploaded,
right? And
I was getting years from 2018 was the earliest.
Right. There's probably shit out there that's as early as 2015.
Okay.
2014 was probably the first time I was really recording,
putting
stuff out.
Like most people.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good time to be putting music out for sure.
Oh yeah.
Middle of the SoundCloud era.
Oh yeah.
Good time. Yeah. I don't know how I survived that, or even if I did, I might be in a fever dream right now. But yeah, it was a good time. I think that I've evolved a lot as an artist since then. I think that I had something to prove. Obviously, most people who want to get into rap, where it's, you have something to prove, you have something you want to brag about, or maybe you're making up for the fact that you don't feel like you have a lot to brag about. Who fucking knows, Like, I feel like it's as much of a crutch as it is in a tool to flex what you're actually good at, Like, so my early days, I don't know. I think I took after fast rap way too much, and it became really corny really quick. I was like, yeah, like that's cool, but like there's got to be like, you can hide a lot of amateur tendencies by just spitting out a really fast cadence, and I think that that's something I learned early on. So I adjusted. I started going slower. I was listening to different music at the time, Earl Sweatshirt, MF Doom, and those are some of my early influences. I got to a point though where I was trying too much to be like those guys, and I think that for me, it was just like, I had a buddy, this is the best like criticism I ever got. He was like, dude, I really like what you're doing, man. I really fuck with your rapping, bro, but you got to stop all this Shakespeare shit. Like, I was like, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, like it was just too much, like, I was Like, honestly, there's that meme about the Lil Jon song where like, to thine window, to thine wall. You know, and I was like, that's kind of the bullshit that I was spewing, you know? I had a fucking verse that started off introducing myself as a gruesome gargantuan, a gigantic mannequin. And I said something about moving like an automaton who's got a hankering. And I was like, you know, like I was just being verbose for the sake of being verbose. And it's cool when you can use $10 words, but it's like I wanted people to understand what I was saying. And I think I was losing people early on. And I was like, before I even had a fan base, I was like, you know, let me just go ahead and say the most complex shit. And then it's this mental jerk off of like, you don't understand me. You don't get it. And it's like, no, I'd never made it accessible, you know? So I learned from that, you know? And that's something that I thought was really funny is like, there's a lot of local rappers that do that shit. And I hope that for their sake, they learn to not do that where it's like, oh, I'm too deep. They just don't get me, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's like, no, you're just willfully misunderstanding yourself and projecting that on other people, you know?
Dope. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and I thought, and that's something I learned from early on too. Is it's like I had that kind of weird streak of like, people just don't get me, and it's like, no, I wasn't making myself understood, you know? Sometimes clearness is better than, you know. I saw something recently like a graph. It was like clear is you know, better than clever in some situations. You know, sometimes clarity is clever, you know, depending on how you utilize it.
I like that, but yeah, because there are a lot of artists who just like jerking themselves off.
Oh yeah, that's like the fake deep shit, you know.
Yeah, and you know what? And when I see people like that, I just know like they don't fucking mean it, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about half the time.
I think it's so funny when someone has to announce that what they're doing is deep, and I'm like, it must be, you know. It really.
The moment I hear that, that's when I tune off. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna ignore you for the rest of the evening then.
Right. Yeah. It's like this is something deep, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think, I mean, to you it could be, but that's not the problem. It must have, anything that you do as an artist must be quote unquote deep to you, otherwise you wouldn't make it, you know.
Yeah.
So there's no benefit I get from you prefacing it by saying that it's deep. I'm like, I'll decide if I think it's deep, because that's the way that consuming your music works.
The way I look at the best artists are the people who don't realize what they're making is deep.
Yeah, I also think that that's very true. Yeah. Because
I look at things a little differently than some people. Because, okay, so a perfect example is Joji. You know him, right?
Joji's pretty good.
Before he was Joji, he was Filthy Frank.
Filthy Frank, man.
You know, I take huge inspiration from him because he's my idol.
Dude, but Filthy Frank is the GOAT.
But I think what he sees his content is very surface level on how he perceives it. But what I see it is much more deeper than what it is.
Right.
Because a lot of the content he makes is very vulgar, but that's perfect for YouTube because that's like, you know, YouTube's antithesis. You know, the exact opposite of what people were making before.
That is a really good point, because I mean, I feel like we've gotten to a point in social media where somehow we're full circle and now we're trying to censor social media. Yeah. Like the way that TV is censored. Not like you can't, you know, speak freely about this topic, but more so like we don't use these words because these words are going to like get you like, I guess, suicide, right? Like that's something that on TikTok you can't talk about without your video getting lost in an algorithm or some shit.
Which really scares me the most is YouTube becoming television, which makes me sick to my stomach.
It's getting there so quick. Yeah,
because that just makes me feel disgusting because I hate traditional media and I love everything that's going on YouTube. But to see that YouTube is actively making an effort to like turn it to like very like
unfortunately
PG.
It's inevitable though. I mean, it's owned by Google, you know, so I mean like that's another, I know that when we started with YouTube we had all that benefit of nothing but time, but
I don't think it's inevitable. I think there's like this shift going on now. I think people are starting to realize that we sort of need comedy to come back to really fix the wrongs that have been happening within these last couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean, you can kind of see where like people are starting to like gain more power back. I think I think we're coming in for a pretty good swing right now. It's an uphill battle, but I think we got something going on.
We need more Matt Rife.
Yeah, we just need more people just saying the N-word on the internet. You know,
we need more comedians that look like Ken dolls. That's the only solution. Fucking comedy's evolving, bro. We're getting to this point where you can't just be like an ugly virgin who's 50 and like make funny shit, you have to look like a Ken doll now.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's definitely more of a joke that isn't landing for me simply because I'm not a good comedian. But I recently found out about who Matt Rife was, and I'm like, damn. Okay, so this is what the women are into, you know. It's a comedian who also looks like he could star in Twilight or some shit, you know. Man, one of my favorite comedians, he's actually like a multimedia kind of guy. Reggie Watts. I don't know if you know Reggie Watts. Dude, he's so fucking phenomenal. He has a song called Fuck Shit Stack. It's the best thing.
Yep. Okay, now I know who he is. I love that guy.
Then some shit, then some fuck, then some shit. You gotta
fuck shit stack. A fuck shit stack.
Yes, indeed. Oh, I like to shit on my stack of fucks.
That guy. Yeah, I didn't know he was still around.
Reggie Watts is beautiful. I think that he does a lot of different stuff. He's kind of like one of those, he plays it to the background. I think he's on one of those Tonight shows. One of those night shows. I forget which one.
I think Jimmy Fallon. It's one of those fucking night shows, man.
It's one of them. Reggie Watts is definitely on one of them for sure. But I mean, nevertheless, I think that he's pretty sick. Bo Burnham's pretty tight. I like Bo Burnham.
I like Bo Burnham too. Nah, I don't know. For him, it's a hit or miss with me.
I could see that.
I was really big fan of his when I was a little kid, but then I don't know. It's just something about him that I just didn't like.
You developed a frontal lobe, and now you're just like.
Yeah, I developed something in my brain. I was like, is this really funny as it's supposed to be?
Is this really?
Because I remember. Yeah. Oh, do you need some help with that?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see if I can just get it to sit at this angle.
Let me help you with that, baby.
What might I need to do?
Let's see. It's like, hold on, let me just time that up. Then it's this thing, Jake.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Huh.
Fuck shit stack. So, yeah, I mean, I like some of Bo Burnham's stuff, but just not all of it.
I think he has a good like streak of not being funny, but like when he's not being funny, it's usually when I enjoy him most. It's weird. It's kind of the ironic thing about watching a comedian is when he's not funny and you like what he's saying. Like,
I think there's a period where like he just stopped doing stuff and he's just trying to get back into stuff. I think that's
a good point. Yeah.
Because like there was a point where he was just doing everything because that's when he blew up. But then he took like 5 years off and then tries to come back again with like his latest special during COVID. Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool, but also I just know that, you know, past that, who knows what he wants to do next.
I also think he's too smart. Like he's too smart on purpose. Like he's an asshole and he's just like he's smarter than everybody in the room.
Right.
Because I can totally see where he comes from with all of his music and all of his lyrics. I was like, oh, I get it. But then there's some things that are like meant to fly over my head. I think he is a genius, but he's also an asshole behind closed doors. Or maybe not. I mean, maybe he's a really nice guy. I don't know him.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I think he's definitely made a point to make that part of his persona. So, I mean, I think that, you know, whenever you adopt a characteristic or a trait for your persona, I feel like sometimes that's because whether or not that's truly how you are, it's an aspect of you that you're getting out there regardless. So maybe he's not an asshole, but the fact that he wants to be perceived as one, I feel like that just speaks to like how he must view himself at some point in time.
I see.
Because, you know, I mean, he makes jokes so often about like being on like a stage persona and like just being like a fucking snobbish asshole. He's like, oh, you know, and then it's like all of a sudden he's like, well, I didn't mean to, you know, offend anybody with this and that. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to be God, but here's a song from the perspective of him. You know, like,
you know what? I think my favorite joke from him comes when he was getting off from a bench and he walks to his piano, but he doesn't, but he mimics like he was going to go and play on it, but he just says no. He walks away and he flips the people off like, dude, don't expect the expected. I love that because that's exactly the type of energy I want. That's the energy I want to keep.
Oh yeah,
with my shit.
Element of surprise.
I don't want people to expect anything from me. I want them to be on their toes.
Right. I can dig that. All the more reason why I'm like, if we, which we absolutely should. We can talk about this later, but like, I definitely got to get on the show. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we gotta plan something.
I'm prepared for being unprepared for whatever the fuck you can throw at me because I'm like,
I should let you know it's a long wait.
Yeah,
there's a bit of a wait.
I can see that. Oh, you're gonna have China back. Is that DJ HMD episode out already?
No, not yet. All those episodes aren't even out yet. Like season 2 is not out yet.
Well, fuck me, man. I fuck with DJ HMD. I fuck with Malicious China. They are very dope people. I don't know Malicious China personally, but I like her music. She's dope. She could scam me any day of the week. I'm okay with that. Like just scam me. Like I would live for that moment. You know, I'm like, damn, you looking really good scamming me right now.
We love you, China.
China's pretty cool. I honestly I promote in my own circles, in my own inner circle. I try to like hype people up on her music because her music, it's good, man. Like I really fuck with her music. Her visuals are on point. She knows what she's doing, and I think that
she has a good vision. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. If we have a moment to just put some praise out there to artists that are doing their thing, she's one of them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that,
she's a good personal friend of mine. I like her music and I like her vision.
Oh yeah, and I mean shit. Like I love when a woman can really talk her shit on a record, And sometimes women do rap better than men. It's just because we've been kind of so just used to like this is assumed like, oh, like I'm a dude rapping, I can say whatever I want. It's like it's so assumed that a dude, we're in an industry competing with other dudes, so it's like we can all relax, right? Yeah. And it's like, no, there are women here that are gonna cut your dick off. So like you need to bar up because these little fucking that's not gonna cut it forever. And I mean like I like having a good time. I love rapping on some ignorant shit and just vibing out and being catatonic, and I love it. But
she was in a music video I'm doing right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh really? You did? I saw something about you doing a music video soon.
Oh yeah, I released a promo for my new single. First single. Your first single? Yeah.
Man.
So we did a music video for that.
Single's a sensitive topic to me right now. I'm trying not to be single.
Cool.
It's an uphill battle. But anyhow.
Anyway.
Your first single.
Yeah.
You've been fucking bitches all this time?
I have.
And now you're just now firstly single.
Exactly.
Damn, this man is newly single. Good shit. Good shit.
No, I made a song with Lucid. He's my producer that helped made the song. I'm not going to reveal the title yet, depending on when this podcast comes out, because this one might come out like
after or something.
Yeah, it's probably going to come out after.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I kind of want to save the surprise for you.
I'm with that for sure. Absolutely.
I'll show you some other works I've been working on.
Yeah, I'm fucking down. I definitely know that there's given the circumstances of some of the shit that I've said in this podcast, regardless of what gets kept or edited or whatever, I'm fine with. But like, given the fact that this is all recent shit happening right now, I'd honestly feel better if it didn't come out like tomorrow. Like, I'm like, I don't need to be reminded of like, oh, like,
yeah, no, I don't know when I'm gonna get to this episode and edit it, because
sick, though,
I'm thinking this might come out next week or in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. I might like stagger it because
at least get me like a snippet or like a promo that I can use when you lead up to your drop for it, because
I'll give you something.
At least so I could just put a little buzz around it, because I mean I've been meaning to get a podcast done for a minute. I've been talking to people about doing podcasts. And,
is this your first one?
Not my first one. Von Rebel, shout out Von Rebel.
Oh yeah, her. Okay,
definitely. Stud Talk Mondays. You gotta peep that shit.
I gotta hit her up one of these days.
Yeah, it would be pretty sick. I know that I got in on that while it was still a good time to work with her. I know that nowadays she's just a lot more busy, which is what I'm getting at. Is like she was very busy the time I got her, but I got her just in time, because it's like
I don't know if it was her, but like me and China was supposed to do like a dating video.
It might have been Vaughn. It sounds like something Vaughn would do.
But like we got stood up.
No, you got stood up on your podcast date?
It wasn't. Yeah, well, here's the thing. It wasn't my podcast. It was. I think it was hers.
Love hurts.
So Vaughn, if you listen to this, where the fuck's the dating show at?
Vaughn, we got to do another episode too, because I want to be in that fresh new studio. I see that shit. It looks dope. You got the big old flat screen in the back. Shout out Hibari Entertainment, all that good shit.
How old is she?
Vaughn?
Yeah.
She's probably about my age. I'd say she's in her 20s.
Okay.
Don't know her age quite, but Von Rebel is the real for sure. Cop you some Von Rebel merch. While you're at it, cop some Sudo the Nomad merch if you're listening to this.
Do you have merch?
I'm selling merch. I got t-shirts, long sleeves, 2 different designs. I made them myself. This hat is merch. There's only 2 of them in existence, so unfortunately they're sold out. I got a couple beanies left.
Who has a second?
Homie of mine in King Steez in Ohio. King Steez, shout out King Steez, man. He was the shit. We went to high school together, making all kinds of crazy shit, making waves, all that good stuff. Cause you know just how it goes. We're just out here making music. We're just trying to be cool and do shit because we're stupid. And I just needed an excuse to loosen up, and this is what I do.
What's the plug for the merch? Where can people buy this merch?
Out the back of my Explorer. I'm carrying all my merch on deck because I can't, I have compulsive issues where I'm like, I just want to sell it at any random street corner. So
if you're seeing Sudo out and about, just go to his car, jack it, and grab all of his merch.
Yeah, crowbar to the back of the window would be preferred. That'd be the best way to get your merch.
Make sure you get the Supreme crowbar first.
Just please leave the $30 for the t-shirt in the car for me, please. While you're in there, just help yourself to whatever's back. There's probably some oatmeal, some leftover gas, some Drano. Do what you got to do, but please leave $30 behind for me because I need gas.
Anyway, Vaughn, hit you up later.
Yo,
that's my open invitation.
Shout out the Cactus Boys podcast. Shout out Moses. Those are my people. Those would definitely be some other podcasters you might want to work with. Definitely getting on the wave. But yes, ooh. I'm loving this candle right here. Tuscany Caribbean Market.
Yep. I get all the good candles. I have a whole drawer just filled with candles.
Beautiful. And I'm loving the fancy pink chromatic looking lighter. That shit's tight.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Have you ever thought about getting your music on a vinyl? Just to have. Not to sell, but like just to have.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's definitely something that I've been keeping in my back pocket. I know it's possible because there's a record company I think in Tucson that does that. They do pressings and all that.
Because I have a vinyl from one artist called Billy Free, I think her name was. And at first I didn't think she was local. I just picked it up at Alexia Records. Just to like have it because I thought it looked cool. And then I looked into it. I was like, oh, this is an artist that is actually local.
That is pretty tight, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know you could do this because I thought this was like super exclusive type shit.
If I ever do, I'm probably going to go through Grandad Records. I know that they've got their own kind of like label. Grandad Records is pretty sick. If you're ever downtown Phoenix, definitely pay them a visit. Say what's up to Coco for me.
I think that's the next goal right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because he's worked with this group called Jerusafunk. That was like through his label, and Jerusafunk is as dope as it sounds.
Is that just like a play on Jerusalem?
I believe so. I believe that there might have been a member that was Jewish, if I'm not mistaken, but I also could be wrong about that. I just know that Jerusafunk is really funky, psychedelic. They're really dope. I like their music, and I play their vinyl on repeat quite often. I think that outside of the grooves and the melodies and the lyrics, like there was a standout moment where like I'm listening to the song, I'm like, this is dope. This is kind of sexy. I could see this working. And then all of a sudden I hear something about I'll suck your toes, and I was like, oh, sucking toes.
Didn't know we were gonna get there.
No, I mean when it comes to sucking toes, it's better if you let her let you know when toe sucking is right, because I don't know. I don't have a foot fetish or anything, but apparently when you start talking toes, they're just like, do you have a foot fetish or something? I'm like, no, I just want to fucking...
You have to ease into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I suck on your toes the same way I suck on any other part of your body. It's just, why would I exclude the feet is the weird thing to me. Why are you excluding feet?
What if you just said like armpit? Would that weigh you out more?
I mean, I don't know. Like I'm a full body kind of guy. Like I'll fuck with an armpit. Like... Just because, again, like I'm all over a girl when I'm with them. So, I mean, like, if I just happen to be by armpit, I'm probably going to kiss it, lick it, whatever the fuck, I'm not going to fuck your armpit. That'd be pretty fucking weird, Like, that'd be really interesting. I'd feel like it'd be like, remember, like, when they used to make the fucking wet armpit farts? Like,
yeah, you'd be sticking your dick in there, like...
Good times.
I mean, that would make me come faster.
Yo, armpits will do it for me. You ever see a picture of an armpit with the hair and it looks like a coochie?
I've seen the meme.
It's pretty dope, man. I think that armpit.
I think
coochie,
that's where people get the mixed signals in their brains. I think that's where people get it.
I have a very rare brain disorder where I can't differentiate coochie from like an armpit when I see a picture of it.
So you just want to fuck armpits?
No, see, the thing is, I don't want to fuck armpits. I just want to fuck coochies, but I can't tell the difference between armpits and coochies. Show me a picture of an armpit, like, it could even be a dude's armpit. I'll be like, yo, that's some good looking coochie. Let me sniff it. You want to sniff a dude's armpit, bro?
Well, you heard it here, folks. I'm not cutting that off on the podcast. That's staying in.
Oh yeah, it better. It's the best part of the podcast.
I feel like that's gonna be the title of the podcast.
Sniffing coochie?
Sniffing armpits with Sudo the Nomad.
Sniffing armpits with Sudo the Nomad. I'm with that. And again, there's no fetishism to it. I just don't exclude any part of the body.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Just to clarify, since it's staying in. Because I'm like, hold up. You're not going to make me out to seem like this serial killer. I'm like, no, let's get something clear, Igloo. You're the serial killer, okay?
I'm the freak.
You invited me to your home, sent me your address, and I pulled up willingly. He offered me some coffee, but I knew better. I've seen Dahmer. No.
That fucking show was disgusting.
I mean, I honestly didn't get through more than half an episode at a friend's house. I was like, that's all I need to see.
I didn't know he was gay. I was so ignorant because I didn't know
that was the worst part of the show. I didn't know Dahmer was that he was gay.
I didn't know he was a homosexual. I didn't know Dahmer was. I don't know if he's a homosexual.
Does that make his acts more morbid too?
No, because I don't think he's officially gay. I think he just liked body parts. I think that's what turned him on.
He's pansexual then.
Fuck.
Frying pans.
Yeah.
That's where, all the body parts end up in, right? Like,
I didn't know anything about Jeffrey Dahmer until I watched that show, Dahmer, and I was like, oh, shit got weird. Sick, dude.
Shit does get weird.
And then I was
Your backyard is pretty tight. I like that look. It makes me feel like I'm in the deserts of Arizona, and technically I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we are in the desert of Arizona, aren't we? We
kind of are, in a sense, and I think that, your backyard really encapsulates that vibe, and I think that there'd be a lot of dope music videos you could shoot there, and play off the idea of like, oh shit, I must be in the desert, and it's like you zoom out and there's a brick wall and there's a backyard, and it's like, oh, I guess I'm not in the desert. We did do one music video out past that highway, me and Vintage. We did that. You know who Vintage is, right? No, inform me.
Okay, he's my roommate.
Oh yeah.
And I did a couple of music videos for him.
What up, Vintage? I don't know if he's home, but
he's not home.
He heard me. He heard my intentions.
He did, yeah. He felt you.
He felt me.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
He's black.
Right on.
But here's a secret. He's not black. He actually paints his skin color.
Oh.
Yeah, he does blackface. But no one
just
but me knows.
Like every day or like?
Yeah, every day.
Like full body? Full just body. Like past the arms and the sleeves and
complete full body.
Do you watch him do that?
I've seen him do it once. That's when they piece together like, oh, he's not actually black. Which is crazy because he has black features when he's white. Big nose, hairdo, big dick. He's just white, but then he has to paint his skin color brown so he can pass off as normal. Huh.
That's definitely normal.
Yeah.
I could see that making sense in a world where, painting your skin one color or another. That's the world we live in now. People do that now. Mm-hmm. Spray tans and, white people pretending to be black and all that stuff.
Ariana Grande style.
Bro, is she Asian now or what? Like,
I don't know what the fuck she is even.
Italian, I think.
Oh yeah,
I like that because it's like what is it? It's like olive oil white. Like,
why would she fucking do that?
Why would she be Italian?
No, that's pretty disgusting on its own right.
Ariana Grande, why are you Italian?
It's good to be Mauro. Ariana Grande. No, I don't know. She painted her skin brown for some reason.
Damn.
And no one questioned it.
I mean, I thought she just stayed in the tanning booth a little too long, and I think that in that level of star power, you just own it. And it's like...
Speaking of tanning booths, fucking Donald Trump has been indicted on federal charges now.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
He's a walking tanning booth, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know how the fuck he keeps his skin orange.
Man, I think the joke's already been made, but like, doesn't he roll around in Cheeto dust or some shit? Like...
That's a joke I've never heard, but that does make sense.
I mean, that's what he looks like, you know. I heard he's actually going to be a central character in that Flamin' Hot documentary that came out.
You're fucking with me.
No, I mean, it's a movie, actually. I think it's like a dramatization of the story of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Which is so fucking bizarre that there's a movie like that out now.
It kind of makes sense, though, if you consider, like, I mean, it looks like it's playing off of like a rags to riches trope, where it's like, it's just like a working class man.
Yeah. You know what's weird is that that's not the first movie like that kind to come out recently. Like, there was a movie like... Well, it was something so obscure like the first guy making Flaming Hot Cheetos. There's another movie about making the Nike shoe.
I was about to say, that was what I was just thinking of.
And then there's another movie about, you know, releasing Tetris on the Game Boy.
Fuck,
like, they all came out within the same year. So that's like, I don't know if they like planned that or if that's just coincidence.
I think that Hollywood just tends to run with an idea when it's hot. Like, I mean,
I'm not mad that they're coming up with new ideas.
No, it seems cool.
I'm just confused that was their ideas.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time, when Hollywood is so focused on making reboots and remakes, I think there's like a surrogate amount of people who's like, we need more original content, and Hollywood's like, all right,
let's do it all at once.
here's a guy making Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Doesn't get more original than that.
I mean, I can't be mad that
it's like a deconstructed documentary put into a dramatization.
I mean, it's you know, it's
they're
like,
finding ways to tell true stories in a cool light, you know, and I think that's
admirable. I like that. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really tell how good it is until I watch it.
Oh yeah, and I bet it's gonna make, you know, I think rather than doing a documentary that's gonna bore people's fucking brains out, like, you make it into a dramatization, and even if it kind of sucks, it's like, it's still gonna be good because, oh, you got to laugh and learn something at the same time. It's edutainment.
I can see that.
You know, because I mean, I know for sure that I will probably watch that Flamin' Hot movie and I'll probably enjoy it. If you ask me to sit down and watch a 2-hour documentary about the origin of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. Like,
I did watch a 9-hour documentary about, not a documentary, but like a retrospective review on Skyrim.
That was probably a beautiful thing that you experienced, and I hope that means that you've ascended. Like, 9 hours of content, 9 hours of viewing content for Skyrim hardly seems like
it's basically just like a giant review of the game,
right? But it's like, it couldn't even possibly be the minimum. Like, I'm sure there's probably like a 5-part series after that 9 hours.
Oh no, you're right. It was part 1 of 2, so 9 hours was the first part, and then 11 hours for the second part.
Oh my god, that's almost as long as this tattoo. That's
20 hours.
That's as long as this quarter sleeve tattoo that I have took.
You could have done that while fucking watching the video.
But instead I watched a bootleg of Straight Outta Compton, you know? I was like, not even the DVD version. I believe it was just like the one where like the dude's sitting in the theater with the camera.
It was a Chinese guy just recording it. His arm was shaking. There's like Chinese lettering subtitles and it's all yellow. And it's like, you know, he's on. My dad used to pirate movies, right? And sometimes that was all he would get. And I know, I fucking hated it because like I couldn't watch the fucking movie like that because that's not how I enjoy movies. But I guess he was fine with it like that. I sure shit wasn't. But
you should pirate movies.
I used to. I don't anymore. But what was dope about pirating movies, especially movies that are like CG, like
Yar.
Like heavy like a lot of movies are heavy CG.
Yar, matey.
You can actually like get movies like 2 weeks.
CG booty. CG booty.
You can actually get movies like a week early before they're released in theaters.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How do you pirate a movie that's not out yet?
Well, because here's the thing. When people make movies that are made with like a lot of CG, they outsource that to different countries, like Korea or China. So a lot of times when someone wants to make a quick buck, they can just export the whole movie on an MP4 and pirate that.
God damn.
So yeah, so I saw War of the Planet of the Apes a week before it came out.
Damn, I feel like there's a punchline in there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but
that wasn't the punchline.
What's the punchline?
There wasn't.
Damn, that's a good joke, man.
Thanks.
That was a really, like, just honestly, like, as far as authentic jokes go, like, that was, like, you know, I'm being ridiculous, but I mean, like, I was like, I don't know why my head was like trumped up to be like, okay, there's gonna be a joke at the end of this. I don't know why.
He was really expecting me to tell some joke.
He was gonna be like a punchline. He's like, I saw Planet of the Apes a week early.
No jokes in this podcast. No jokes. My comedy podcast.
None whatsoever.
Fuck no.
It's like, yeah. So I watched, you know, and then it's like I watched Planet of the Apes a week early, you know, and then.
Yeah, and that was it. It was just a regular movie. It was just a regular movie.
I'm like, there's territory there that you could work on, though, like some primate type of joke. I don't know.
I could, but I'm white and I have black friends. I don't want to lose those black friends.
Right.
I have like 2 black friends.
It's crazy because when you think about chimpanzees, they really look more like white people with the lips, you know, like real thin, like, especially when they purse them, they're like. Chimpanzees
are fucking dope.
They're pretty tight.
I don't ever want to be near any of them though.
I feel like I don't want to say they're too smart for their own good. They're too smart for our own good.
No, I know that they're not. They're pretty smart creatures. I just don't know when things are gonna get crazy with them because when things get crazy fast.
Oh yeah, and they're unpredictable when they're pissed, you know.
And I really don't want to like lose my hands, feet, and cock to a chimpanzee.
I mean, I could lose my cock to a chimpanzee.
I mean, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not condoning bestiality, but that was definitely the implication that
I see what you mean. Okay, now it's sort of clicking in my head.
Yeah, so that was the implication that I was probably making. But just to clarify, I'm not fucking a monkey at any point in time as far as like a chimpanzee or an ape or anything.
That'd be crazy.
Bro, I think about, what was it? Eric Andre's last movie. Doesn't he get fucked by a gorilla in that? He like is a dude in a suit. But
it was a movie where like they're on a road trip.
Yeah, and then like I'm pretty sure the dude who's in the gorilla suit has like a bottle of lotion and just like spews it on him or something at one point.
I did not see that part of the movie.
Everybody's shocked. Anyways, I'm not spoiling anything in the movie because the movie's mostly...
I saw the movie. Yeah. I just don't remember that for some reason. Maybe it's like an extended edition into the movie.
Maybe it was just too traumatizing.
Well, maybe I just like...
Did you watch it in theaters? It might be why. Okay, but that movie's going to be... I mean, you've already seen it, so you know, but I mean...
Well, to be fair, I kind of skipped through the movie because it wasn't really good. I really only watched it for the pranks because the acting and the story was pretty fucking lame.
Yeah, let's not pretend the movie was like it was all about the pranks.
It wasn't like bad grandpa type storytelling.
That was a little bit better, I would say.
Well, because Johnny Knoxville is an actor.
Yeah, he's definitely...
Eric Andre is not an actor.
I don't think he was trying too hard to be one in that either. Like the whole premise was pretty fucking hilarious. Yeah. It's like a girl that you knew once upon a time, and it's like, yeah, you followed me halfway across the country. You're a fucking psycho. We were talking about video games earlier. I was thinking about this video I saw today. It was like somebody working in the Unreal Engine. They put together a Shrek video game.
Okay.
And it was like your standard kind of like fighter. Like it's like there's waves of gingerbread men that you fight.
Yeah.
And fat Puss in Boots and rock throwing Pinocchio, and you can do like martial arts against them, and it's pretty fucking lit. Every wave you win, they drop like loot, and the loot is all like abilities or passive abilities or skills and shit like that. One of the fucking moves is like a break dance, and then it like does damage to anybody in the area. And I'm like, this is pretty fucking lit. Like I would play that game, and it's just you're fighting on the swamp, and they actually use Shrek 2 sound bites.
That's dope.
Fill in dialogue.
So do you play any video games?
Lately, nothing too cool. I mean, I'm kind of working through Silent Hill 2 again. That's a good game.
I mean, I wasn't sure if you're like if your life was influenced by video games, considering you were not poor. I mean, you were poor as fuck.
That was the main, like, that's the thing is like somehow I think that was the easiest way to keep us busy. So yeah, video games are a big part of my childhood.
Okay, so more so
than movies. Like I feel like people make movie references that I just don't know. I don't think I stayed in the house long enough to like get a collection of movies or DVDs. Like we would rewatch like Ice Age like a dozen times. Like we usually had a DVD or two at a time. somehow I had a PS2. I think my dad bought it for me before he passed away. Got a little older. I think I was blessed enough to end up with a PS3, and then, video games. I don't know. I had my addiction to video games as a kid. I'll put it that way.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there was still some time where I, could hash out, Call of Duty or whatever the fuck. Elder Scrolls is dope. I like Oblivion. That was a good one. Silent Hill 2. I'm playing that lately. Play a lot of casual games these days just because I want something to numb my mind and not making me think. And I gotta take a break from the machine by being connected to one and doing nothing with my life.
There's an excellent video game I'd recommend for you if you want to just like escape for like a long period of time.
What's that?
Fucking Tears of the Kingdom, The Legend of Zelda.
I hear that's a good game. Yeah.
If you ever have, I don't know if you have a Switch. I don't think you do.
No, I'm more of a power bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, more so than a Switch, but
dope.
Yeah, pound it. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, Tears of the Kingdom. Phenomenal game.
It's usually what happens afterwards too. Tears in the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kingdom come.
I come.
I come in the kingdom.
Introducing the new I Come by Apple.
Tears of Come Kingdoms. The I Come. Jeez. It's like a fucking. I'm imagining the manufacturing. Right? It's like a white piece of plastic. Looks like the same material that your AirPods are made out of, but it's in the shape of a cock ring, and you put it on, and then speakers play music into it, and it vibrates until you blast.
It just makes you come, yeah.
And now you can listen to Smash Mouth on full blast, and you get your full.
Somebody once told me,
and immediately just jizz.
It's like, oh!
Impact jizzing.
Disgusting.
Yo, while we're on this topic, and since this is definitely like a very motley environment that we found ourselves in with these topics, you remember the first time you ever came, bro?
Oh my god.
Wasn't that shit wild?
That shit.
Did it scare you, bro? Cause it scared me. I was like, did it
scare me?
I was like thinking to myself, did I break this shit? Like, is it supposed to do that? Like, so basically,
I don't think I made a sound. I feel like I was like in shock.
Right.
That, like, I did not make a sound when it happened. All of a sudden, like this, because like I didn't know what jacking off was. I kind of had an idea because I was like doing this with my dick. If you didn't know what I did in the podcast, I had like a peace symbol out, and I was just like rubbing my dick with my two fingers like this. I never came, but then when I first saw porn, and then I saw a chick do it with the full hand, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. So I did that, and then it was like a slow build up, and then it just happened. Yeah. After that, my life was never the same.
It changed everything, I bet.
Yeah. This is what gets me canceled, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're going off the rails, but hey.
The podcast that gets you canceled.
And I haven't even gotten started, bro. Like, it's like, dude, canceled. What is it? Dead on arrival, bro. That would be the way my career starts.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. But hey, it is what it is. I'll get all the proper training when I'm actually further down the road and be like, hey, maybe next time don't talk about that sexual experience you had when you were 6. And I'm like, fuck, maybe you're right. Like, maybe I shouldn't.
I have a couple. I actually have one. I actually want to go back to your music real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Who does your produce? Like, do you go to a guy that makes your music, or do you just like grab it from the internet?
I get all my beats from the beat man. I sometimes, it's from my neighborhood. Other times it's just what I can get in the city. I have a plug for beats sometimes, and sometimes the quality isn't all the way there, but I take what I can get when I've got the money for them, all the good stuff. No, but in all seriousness, I make a lot of my own stuff. I don't make all my own beats. I know a lot of producers in the area, a lot of people that are just, creatives, and there's a lot of different shit out there. I sample a lot of music too. So sometimes I sample and string together, an instrumental, but I wouldn't necessarily say I, am the beat maker for it. Like, I would probably get sued for this if I was actually bigger, but I'm not. So I know that I sampled a King Cruel record, couple King Cruel records, and those are pretty fucking nice, but I did very little to actually change the beats themselves. It was just like, here's a 2-second loop of him playing guitar, and I love it. And I'm not going to do anything else to it. I just want to take that 2-second that lick of him doing, and I'm like, cool, that's it.
Can I give you some criticism real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I do think your lyrics and the production is nice. Your mastering is not great.
I believe it. I definitely do believe it. I do it all. So, I mean, as far as like the whole project, top to bottom, it's me. So, yeah.
But I do want to direct you to one guy that I think could help you.
Sure.
He's a producer that I've been working with. We've been working on some stuff.
Right on.
His name is Lucid.
Lucid, right on.
I'll hit you up with him. He's
for sure. Yeah.
He's a super chill guy.
Yeah,
he's really cheap too.
I'm definitely looking into trying to get into some different pockets for sure.
Really fantastic work.
Right
and
on.
I'll show you some of the songs that we've been working on. And you can make a judgment on what he's done.
Of course. I was gonna have the opposite reaction and be like, no man, fuck it. Have like a whole diva personality and be like, you think my music's whack? Man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Like just go off like.
I mean, you can't do everything by yourself. I mean, making music is
that's true.
Making music is just like it's a whole process.
I'm changing your name to Young Igloo.
Thanks.
It's not Young Igloo, it's Young Igloo.
You know why I do that? Why I have the undercapitalized I?
What's that?
So it's easier to read the I for Igloo.
Yeah, I could see that. Because
because when it's a capitalized I, it's just a line, then G, then lower capital L is just another line.
Right. No, yeah, lowercase I looks pretty dope.
Because I guess some people haven't seen the word Igloo before.
It's just a new Apple product, the Igloo.
Fuck.
The Igloo. Good for keeping your eyes shut so you don't see the bullshit you're not supposed to.
That's stupid. That's nothing.
You're not supposed to know what's going on behind closed doors, and that's what your parents told you. So here, the Igloo. It's like the Sandman's like arch nemesis. It's like he shows up and puts sand in your eyes, and then there's the motherfucker with the Igloo, and it's like, God damn it, he beat me to the punch. Like,
you still got your foreskin?
That's a good question, and the honest answer is yes. I do still have my foreskin.
Okay.
I believe that it's a very vital part of my enjoyment, on a daily basis.
Dope.
Without that shit, man, I feel like it'd be really hard to
nut.
It's like, hey, you want to rub that one spot raw every day? It's like, no, I don't. Like,
see, that's why I have to use lotion.
See, I'd just be raw dogging it. Yeah, no lotion.
Fuck.
Yeah, the benefits of a foreskin, gentlemen.
I can't do that.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm actually insane. I feel like maybe that makes me a psychopath. I feel like that's like up for debate.
No, I'm pretty sure you can you can rub your shit with. I mean, you would need foreskin to make it easier to rub your shit with. But I mean, that's not gonna happen.
We're gonna have to make this the XXX version of your podcast because I mean, goddamn, every topic we brought up, I'm loving it.
No,
but
I feel like we talked about worse shit on other episodes before.
That makes me feel better.
But this is like, this is pretty raunchy too. Like it was doing this, and then now it's plateauing to just nonsense. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today.
I feel that, man. I feel that.
Yeah, we got a pretty good. We have a pretty good podcast right here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would agree, man. It's been a good ass time. I definitely appreciate you having me on. And
well, thank you so much for coming. I know it's a long trek from downtown to here.
Oh, definitely worth it though, man. It was a good experience, man. Coming out and shooting this shit.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your life story with us. I'm sure that's like. I'm sure that won't be the only time you'll have to tell it to us in the future, because I'm pretty sure this won't be your last podcast.
We can definitely dive in deeper and whatnot. Today was just kind of like a taste of it. I didn't want to stay on that topic too long, but at the same time,
I know about that. Yeah.
But anyhow, I'm definitely glad that I was able to make it out, man, and I appreciate you having me. All that good stuff.
Sudo, go ahead and give us your plugs before you head out.
That's right. So you can find me on Instagram at Sudo the Nomad LLC. So SUDOTHENOMAD LLC. All that good stuff. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, fucking Facebook. Oh God.
The metaverse.
Right. I'm really social media wise. If you wanted to get at me, just get at me on Instagram. Find me on Spotify. Listen to my music on Apple Music. All the good shit, and shoot me a message if you're trying to get some merch. I'll send you a picture. It's pretty fucking lit, man. It puts gas in my tank. So yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, good times.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming onto the show.
It was pretty fucking baller of you. Come back. You You better come back to the show, bitch. If you don't, then we're gonna come on you.
Motherfucker.
That was the Sundown Podcast. Thanks for sticking to the end. Remember, kids, it's okay to get turned on by a 2D drawing. Just don't let that be a habit, because I will bully the fuck out of you. Good day.